Good morning, Karen. I'm Nancy Creed, President of the Springfield Regional Chamber. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Karen Blanchard, the new Executive Director of the Michael J. Dias Foundation and a new chamber member, I think within like the last week.
Yes, I believe so.
So welcome. Thanks for having coffee with me. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Love it. All right. Got a great cup there. I like yours.
So tell me a little bit about the foundation. It's not something that I'm actually really familiar with.
Right. And even I wasn't that familiar with it when I first started. They're really a great little foundation based out of Springfield. We have sober housing for those who are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And it's a really wonderful foundation in that we have a different philosophy than maybe some of the other sober homes have, is that it's a very family-like atmosphere. We really want to make our residents feel at home and comfortable as they're going through, what they're going through with their addictions. And it's just, the board is very involved with the day-to-day processes, and also getting to know the guys because they want them to feel welcome and that somebody cares. So it's a really, great little setup that we have here.
Is it co-ed or just for men?
No, it's just for men. In the future, we may expand and move into housing for women, but right now it's just men.
So I'm curious, because this is not only a new position for you, but it's a new position for the foundation.
Yes, it is. Yeah, brand new position. They've been going since 2014, but just a really grassroots effort, and they really wanted to move it up to the next level. And so they hired somebody like me with all my experience in fundraising and grant writing and processes with those in recovery. So they really made the big step, and they hired me.
So what is it like to be the first?
Well, I get to kind of make it my own, which is really cool. It's like, because there's really no guidelines. It just, I do what feels right and what I think is going to be the best for the foundation, and just getting the word out there and what we're doing, because like you said, not really many people have heard of it. So it's part of my job is getting the word out and ramping up the Facebook and the website and getting those press releases out, and just really getting people to know what the good works we do in the community.
And you mentioned your experience. You have like over 30 years of nonprofit working in the homeless space, recovery space.
Yeah.
Got you interested in that? And was there someone, that mentored you throughout your years that really kind of helped you give back?
It's funny, if you had asked me, over 30 years ago, would I still be doing this? I would have said, no. I got a temp job with the United Way of Holyoke, South Hadley, and Granby. That's how long ago this was. And I just kind of liked the nonprofit work. And I was working with somebody named Bob Gaucher. And when I left the United Way, I went to another agency, and he ended up following and being the director. And he was really my mentor throughout the years. We had a lot of good times, but we also had a lot of really bad times. But he was my rock, and he taught me so much. He showed me how to be a leader, because back in 1999, we had a fire that destroyed 2 of our programs.
Oh, geez.
It was awful. I mean, we were under so much stress, and he just really stepped up, and he showed what it means to be a leader. And I was so grateful for that. And he really took me out of my shell. When I was in my 20s, I didn't want to do public speaking. I just wanted to be behind the scenes. I was very content with that, but he really pushed me to be more, and he knew what was inside me, and he really pushed it. And at one point I decided to go back for my my graduate degree, and he encouraged me, and he supported me throughout the whole thing. And I can't be more grateful. I couldn't have asked for a better mentor.
And do you still keep in touch?
Absolutely. He's well retired now, but we definitely keep in touch all the time. And he's a great friend, as also a mentor, but also a great friend.
And what do you think you have learned from him that you've been able to deploy, especially during these pandemic times when leadership really is crucial?
Yeah, in times of crisis, um, people really come together, and especially during the fire, we saw that. It's like the Hoyle community just came together and really, did whatever they could to help us out. And we're seeing that now in the pandemic. You're seeing so many people reaching out to help those in need. I mean, look at the support that the Western Mass Food Bank is getting from all sorts of places that they never had tapped into before. I mean, people are just really coming through. Because some are more fortunate than others. Some have been, without work for 6 months, 9 months, a year, and they're struggling to put food on their tables. And, that's, thankfully, the community is really coming together to help those people.
And I can only imagine the challenges that the men you serve are already going through, and then add the pandemic onto that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what you're seeing with the population you serve.
Yeah, it's really hard. We're in a congregate setting, so that right away is COVID central. It just wants to, you got to be so careful. We've had to, go by the CDC guidelines and make sure everything is clean and sanitized, and the guys, they're feeling claustrophobic and can't be socializing or anything like that. And so that, as you know, it affects everybody's mental health. This pandemic has not been good for anybody mentally. And the thing is, when you have that, it kind of pushes them back to their old ways, and you don't want them to go back to drinking or drugging because they're going out of their minds because of this pandemic. So it's a fine balance. My staff works really hard to make sure that they feel comfortable, but then also supported in their sobriety during this, because it's difficult for all of us.
Absolutely. And I've seen, like staggering statistics about, quite candidly, how much people are drinking.
Yes.
During this pandemic. So I feel for, and I actually have family members in recovery. So yeah. I feel for what they're going through.
Yeah, since March, they said it's just skyrocketed, alcoholism. And what do you do? People are stuck at home and there's nothing else to do. So right away, they're trying to find comfort somewhere. And so they're drinking and drugging. And so unfortunately, we see for the future that our services are going to be needed more than ever, because of this. So it's been a difficult time for everybody.
And what have you been finding comfort in during the pandemic?
Well, but I'm a very social person, so this social distancing is just torturous, as you can imagine. I mean, I'm a hugger, and I hug people. So it's been really trying for me. I mean, I was a Rotarian. I went to all the chamber events. I mean, this, you socialize and you get to know people and you just make those connections, and not being able to do that for so long has been very foreign to me. How about you? I mean, look at all the socializing you would generally do. What are you doing? I know you've been at your fire pit in your backyard. I know you've been doing that kind of stuff.
We have found creative ways.
There you go.
I am a very much a beach person and a summer person, so the winter just kills me.
I'm with you.
But I've found ways to, we invested in heated seats, and we're doing outdoor dining or at fire pits. Whatever you have to do to make it through.
That's right. That we all doing what we have to do. But that's nice that your husband's able to share it all with you, and the animals, of course.
Yes, absolutely. They keep me warm.
That's right. That's right.
So speaking of animals, you also have a passion.
Yes,
so tell me about that.
Love taking care of pets. I've been doing it for a very long time, and you said, what brings me, comfort in these times. It's really the animals. Being able to hug them and to just talk to them, and it's so soothing, and it just really takes all the stress away from the day. And I mean, you're an animal lover and an owner, so. Mm-hmm. So you know what it feels like, but yeah, the animals are just really key to keeping going on in my mind. Yes.
Well, there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
I am seeing that. I really like, I got my first shot. I don't know if you've had the opportunity. And my second one is next Friday. And that alone is comforting. And seeing everybody lining up to go get the vaccine, heartwarming to see that more and more people are signing up to get the vaccine. I think that's going to be the key to us finally getting out of this situation and just, and they say the new normal. Well, I don't like the new normal. I want the old normal. And this is what I'm looking forward to. This is what keeps me going, is that hopefully May or June or July, we're really going to be able to get out and say hello to our neighbors again. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Now let's go back to, I'm sorry, was his name Bob?
Bob Gaucher, correct.
Yes. So looking back on what he has taught you over the years,
Yeah.
what would you take from that you would impart upon the next generation of leaders?
Yeah. It's work hard, but also try to have some work-life balance. As COVID has taught us, life is way too short. So yes, be diligent, do what needs to be done for the greater good, but just really try to have that work-life balance. I never did. And now I'm finding that it's valuable, and you really need it for your peace of mind. So that's my take.
What made you change your mind if you didn't have that balance before?
Well, COVID kind of forced me to slow down, because I'm a type A. I'm always on the move. I never sit still, and COVID just has forced me to do it. And at first I really didn't like it, but now I'm trying to adapt and saying, look at, I was very stressed out. I mean, I would have, chest pains all the time. I was just a very stressed out person. And having that go away, I thought, wow, this is a really great feeling. So I'm trying to keep that non-stressed, part of me going, and just, and I impart that to others, is try to have that work-life balance.
And what kind of advice do you impart upon the folks that you serve?
Be strong. It's difficult when you're going through recovery. That's all you're thinking about is either the drugs or the alcohol. And, just know that there's people out there willing to give you that support and to help you. And not only do we do it for our residents in-house, but we offer support to the family members who are affected by those who do drugs and alcohol. And just, we want to let them know that we are here for them. We are here to support you and give you, whatever emotional support that you need to get through this, because they're suffering also. It's not just the addicted person that goes through this. It's the family members and the friends and everybody associated with them. So it's really a big circle, and we just all have to work together to help everybody get through this.
Is there anything about your work that really has surprised you?
Doing this for this long, I'm going to say no. It really takes a lot to surprise me now. Back in the day, I would go, what happened? Now it's like, yeah, I expected that, so unfortunately, nothing really surprises me anymore.
And where do you think you would be now without Bob?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, he was such a huge influence on my life that and I'm so fortunate to still be a part of my life, and I'm a part of his life. And I think it's mutual, our admiration for each other. And I couldn't imagine that I would be where I am today without his support and mentorship.
And I guess we ask the president these questions, but what do you anticipate to complete in your first 90 days?
Oh, well, I've done so much. Like I said, I'm a type A. I'm just going, 1,000 miles a minute. And I got to keep pushing myself down and say, it's only the first month. It's okay. You can take your time. You can pace yourself. And I'm just not like that, internally. So it's been very difficult for me. But yeah, I really want to ramp up their social media campaign to get the word out. We're revamping the website right now. We're having some fundraisers are coming up. We're having a grab and go, I should say, at Villa Rosa in Ludlow in April. And so we're going to start pushing that fundraising event. We've got golf tournament scheduled in June. Let's hope it happens. It's all tentative at this point. We're supposed to have a concert with Trailer Trash also for the golf tournament. And, we want to have hundreds and, whatever, thousands of people there, but it all depends what the governor's going to say. And so we're planning in anticipation that things are going to go back to semi-normal. So, please wish us luck in that all of this happens. And because, we're done with the virtual stuff. Let's get out there and start, gathering and interacting with people. I recently watched the Bohemian Rhapsody movie with Queen, and they showed Live Aid. And I'm going, oh my God, super spreader. That was my first thought. Not what a good movie it was, but super spreader, we could never do that again. And it's funny how our mindset changes, from just a year ago that, there's all these things we want to do, but we just have to be so careful. And it's for everybody's safety. We understand that, but we really just want to go back to the way things were.
Well, I do hope things will get back to somewhat normal for you and your foundation.
For the chamber, you used to have events all the time, so you've had to adapt too. So, what changes have you seen? What are you doing different? How are you pivoting, I guess is the question.
So I think we pivoted, obviously, our events. We had over the years been very strategic in the kinds of events that we were doing. We didn't want to just have an event to have an event.
Right.
So now we're actually really seeing that strategy deploy.
Good.
Like everyone else, we've had to right size our organization and but I think we were kind of doing pretty well to begin with. And so we're, knock on wood, we're doing okay.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of chambers that are really, not capable of doing too many things right now just because they didn't, they're smaller and they didn't have the infrastructure and the things going on. So you're very fortunate, and because you cover a large area, it's not just Springfield, correct? You're kind of
correct.
Pioneer Valley-ish.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think we consider like Camden County to be really our catchment area.
Yeah. So you cover.
But yeah, knock on wood.
And I gotta say, how wonderful you have been getting information out to members and the community. I saw that you posted, where to sign up to get your vaccine. And I right away went on and I did it, and it was all, really easy, so I want to thank you as a chamber for helping all of us out here traverse all the everything out there to make things happen. So thank you as a chamber. I really appreciate all that you do for
well,
me.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's very nice. Well, thank you for joining me for coffee.
Thanks for having me. Love
it was nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And cheers with our coffee cup.
Yes.
Take care, and thank you again for joining me for coffee. We'll see you hopefully in person soon.
Yes, I certainly hope so. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you so much.